Johnson, the floor is yours.
All right. So we ended up with two guys that we're concerned about injury-wise here. TJ looks like he has a fibula fracture, which will take him out for the rest of the season here. And then Ozzy sounds like he has a patella tendon, which will likely do the same thing for him. So we'll see what those guys are like tomorrow, just to be sure, but it doesn't look good for either one of those guys. Man, it goes without being said. That's just an incredible job by all the people in this building. Players, coaches, support staff, to do what they just did with the stakes as high as they were, and knowing that it's win or go home at this point. Down 21-3 at halftime, and defense bowing up like they did in the second half with a number of 3-and-outs, and then the offense coming to life, and finding a way to get us enough points in the fourth quarter there. I think that's 25 points in the fourth quarter was a huge deal, and it's really who those guys are now at this point. We got a group of guys that just they don't waver. The odds are stacked against us, and despite the fact we don't like that score at halftime, nobody does. No one envisioned the first 30 minutes going that way. And yet, we just keep plugging along, and we keep fighting, and we've proven that this year. That's who we are. That's what we do here at this point. So, with that being said, I'll go ahead and open it up.
And you've seen this all season. See it again tonight. Are you just amazed by what this team can do?
Yeah, I think it's our identity here at this point, and some people say it's not sustainable. I don't know. It's the takeaways are, that's who we are on defense, and, on offense, it's explosive plays. That's kind of what we've done all year long, and coming up in big moments. And as a team, it's just resiliency and knowing that late in the fourth quarter, that's really when we're at our best as a football team. So we'll keep striving to be better earlier in games and starting faster and all that. But that's it gives us something to work towards. But I can't be any more proud of this crew than I am right now.
When your team was down 21-3 at halftime, obviously you've been in these positions before throughout the season, but understanding the stakes, what was your message to your players?
Well, the one thing that we had done during training camp was we had shown the film of the Atlanta and New England game and the Super Bowl from, was that 2016? I can't remember what year that was, but we have two players on our roster that were part of both those teams. Grady was with Atlanta and Joe Thuney was with New England, and it was just great to get perspective from both of those players of how that game went down. And I think it's just a good lesson to be learned that it's 28-3 in the middle of the third quarter, and yet the game still being played, and there's a lot of time left. And that was my message to the group, was just reminding them that this has been done before, and rather than saying woe is me and oh crap we're in a hole, it's more, this is a great opportunity for us to turn this thing around into a game that we'll never forget, and that's what they did.
Is that as emotional as you've seen Caleb this season, and how did you and him get on the same page?
Emotional during the game or after the game?
During the game, he was extremely emphatic on the sidelines and very vocal. Yeah,
it's something that we'll talk about. I think he and I both, we want to try to be as stoic and steady for our guys as we can be. And, I'll talk to him and see if he felt like he could have handled anything any better than what he did. But, we all came in with high expectations on how this game would go. We certainly didn't think, we'd have 4 possessions in the first half and only have 3 points to show for it. And so you do get a little bit disappointed when something like that happens, and yet you know that you're going to have opportunities down the road as well, in the second half, which we did. So as always, Caleb came through for us. He made some big-time throws in some critical situations. Guys made some big catches. Guys up front protected. I mean, you get in that spot where you're down a little bit, and you got to throw it a little bit more, and you need the big guys to bow up and give us a clean pocket. And it took the entire offense to get that job done.
The one play at a time kind of mantra. I know you said that at halftime, just one play at a time. Is it hard in a playoffs atmosphere when you're down that much to get your guys to stay in that, to believe in it? And what allows this group to buy in and believe?
Yeah, well, I mean, every team's different, but certainly it seemed to resonate with those guys, and they did a great job. I mean, the only way you come back from a deficit like that is one possession at a time, trying to get more points on the scoreboard, continuing to hold them and getting the ball back for the offense. Special teams played a major factor in this game as well throughout. And so, you got no other choice. You're not going to get it all back all in one shot. And so, you just keep plugging along. And I think we had a couple field goals to get us going a little bit. And then the touchdowns eventually, broke the dam and ended up coming up big for us.
Ben, what was different about your defense in the second half?
It's something I'll have to look at if we're doing anything different. I don't think schematically we weren't. We're sticking to the plan, but I do think our guys were certainly doing a good job getting off the field on third down. We weren't doing that a whole lot in the first half. We had some opportunities, and it's a really good offense on third down, and they certainly were in the first half. And that was kind of the story there for most of the game, I thought.
But it's obvious you won a playoff game in this manner. It's obvious you're going to be pretty excited. We don't see that kind of emotion from you at the buzzer as we did today. It's just, again, the obvious of winning a playoff game.
Yeah. There was probably a little bit more noise coming out of their building up north to start the week, which we heard loud and clear, players and coaches alike. So this one meant something to us.
Was there a concern in the third quarter when you finally forced the punt to settle for the field goal when you're in the red zone? You're thinking, you're going to run out of time if you don't convert those into touchdowns? Or?
Man, I'd be honest with you. I can't think back at every possession right now. So I can't. Maybe tomorrow I can reflect a little bit more on particular things like that. I apologize.
Ben, Olsen Love has really come along second half of the season. He just had the second best postseason game of a rookie tight end in NFL history. When did you know the light bulb was going on for him? And then how have you been able to change how you use him to kind of get this big performance here in the second half?
Well, he's a guy that, when we drafted him, he was still coming off the injury. And so it took us, he really missed the springtime. And then training camp, you're trying to be smart in terms of how you're acclimating him, not just to the offense, but physically, making sure his shoulder's good to go. And so it did take a little bit of time before we built that trust with him. Early in the season, you play a Flores defense, and he makes it a little bit more challenging to get the tight ends the ball sometimes. It's hard to dictate where the ball goes against him sometimes. And so a little bit of a slower start early in the year, and then it's just kind of picked up and it's clicked for us. And so I know Caleb has an immense amount of trust in him. He's a guy that he's one of the first ones in the building every single day. He's always studying his playbook while he's eating breakfast. He's always the last one off the practice field doing the jugs machine. He's been the model of consistency, which for a rookie, speaks volumes. And so as a coaching staff, I know we really believe in him, and he's really just scratching the surface of what he's going to become.
And Caleb got off to a slow start today, passing-wise. How did you see him kind of just stick with it and persevere? Yeah,
well, I mean, we get down like we do, and you kind of for it. Well, we're going to have to throw it a little bit more, and if anything, that probably gets him into more of a rhythm, And so, it's a balancing act as a play caller, because I do feel strongly about our running game and the guys up front and our running backs, and it's been a big part of our identity on offense. So, but at the same time, I do love seeing Caleb getting that rhythm and that confidence up, and the more opportunities he has, normally the more explosive we become on offense as well. So, it was just one of those things. I think he just started feeling it there in the fourth quarter and made some big plays for us.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you.
Passing record, 24-48, 361 yards. He's ready to speak. Full uniform. He's locked in.
What's up, everybody?
Caleb, can you take us through the range of emotions that you felt throughout the course of this game? And it was actually pretty impressive to watch how vocal you were on the sideline with your teammates.
I would say I was calm. Obviously some frustrating moments. Us just not doing our job. Us, not focus on the details. Us, those type of things that in these games you can't have. And so that was the frustrating part. That's where my frustration. That's where some of the early in the game, kind of me being vocal was coming from, the anger and things like that. Just because it wasn't guys out there not giving effort and things like that. It was just guys just not being on where they need to be at the right time and things like that. And so, we're going to go back. We're going to watch the film. We're going to fix it. But the great thing is we're moving on to the next round, and so we have a shot to be able to do that. And so, being able to stay calm through it, obviously use the frustration, being able to communicate with the guys even through the frustration so that when the moment comes up, we hit and we show up in those moments so we can go win the game.
Caleb, we've talked all season about how different this offense has been for you.
Yep.
Play calling, the 25-yard, the pass to DJ Moore at the end.
Mm-hmm.
How well did the call work for you?
Yeah, it was a perfect call. We end up throwing a screen early in the game, and so it sets it up, to the same side, and so it sets it up, and then, being able to have that play call that we worked for, I think, the past 3 or 4 weeks, and just didn't use it in those other games, and then, in the right moment at the right time, Coach calls it just as he does, and the guys did a great job selling it. Obviously, DJ made a great catch. Just put the ball out there for him to, go out there, make a catch for us, and go win the game.
When did you see it? And what goes through your mind this split second?
Yeah, once we lined up, I actually knew that we were about to hit it. Just off the demeanor of the guys on the other side of the ball, just had a feeling that was going to be the one. And like I said, the guys did a great job. O-line did a great job blocking. The guys did a great job over there selling the fake, and then obviously DJ going up the sideline.
You said before that when the game's on the line, you want to be going with the ball in your hands. But what's it like watching from the sideline when the defense is out there and you have Jordan Love marching down the field at the end of the game?
Pure belief. That's all you need. And you got belief in the coaches that they're going to call the right play at the right time. You got belief in the players that are on the field that are going to make the right play at the right time. And so the belief, all I said was to guys, you don't need to be Superman. You don't need to go and do anything crazy. You just got to go out there and focus and do your job. And those guys looked me in the eyes and said, "We're going to make it happen." That's what they said to me. And so the belief was there, the trust was there, and they went out there and made the plays when it counted.
When you came to the Bears, you talked about changing the history, rewriting your own history.
Mm-hmm.
One of the negative histories here has been this rivalry.
Yep.
What message do you think that you sent to the Packers this season?
Yeah. We're here. I'm gonna be here for a while is my plan, and so be here with Coach, win a bunch of games, be in these moments, and come out victorious. That's the mindset for right now. This year, that's also a mindset for the future.
Caleb, the off-script ball you hit the Rome on that
fourth down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see how to make that play?
Yeah, we ended up having like a looper or a blitzer. I haven't obviously gone back and watched it yet, and he ended up breaking through. And I felt the edge. I could have got around, and I knew where the play was going, and so I wanted to go in that direction with Rome, and just didn't have enough time to be able to sit there and throw a ball in the pocket. And wanted to go in that direction because I saw the space before when I was dropping back, and so I went in that direction. And honestly, just understand it's fourth down. I gotta put the ball in play. Rome went and made a great catch, adjusting to the ball. I threw him upfield. I knew, I think 25 was trailing him, and so put it upfield a little bit. It creates an awkward angle for him and makes it a little bit easier catch for Rome.
Maybe you said you knew the game was over when you guys hit that pass. What was your mindset when you convert there?
Yeah, go win the game. That was my mindset. That drive and the drive before, that was my mindset throughout the drive. That was my mindset in that fourth down. And it's fun having that belief in your guys, from your guys, and also from Coach. Coach said in the headset, "I need you right here, and go make a play, kid." And we went out there and we did just that.
Caleb, how's your ankle?
My ankle's good. I ended up landing on his foot, and so my ankle was a little bit higher off the ground. I would say I have pliable ankles because I work on that, just making sure I don't have any bad ankles. ankle sprains and things like that. So it was a little bit higher off the ground, and I ended up landing wrong, and felt like my ankle bone touched the ground, but I haven't gone back and seen it. Yeah.
Caleb Ben talked about Colston Loveland just barely scratching the surface of his potential.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like over the past few weeks you have really started to form a bond with him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think's changed from the beginning of the season to now, and how has he become that for you?
Yeah. We got a home run with him, you know. And that's something my coach said the other day to me. We were, sitting in his office, and everybody goes back to draft night, and why did we get Colston Loveland? Why did we do this? And why did we do that? And it's Colston Loveland. You know what I mean? That's who he is. He's one of the hardest workers on his team. He's there late. He's there early. His body language when he's on the field, all of that is I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for what we got, to show for these next couple of weeks, and then what's to come in the future for our trust, our bond, seeing different route concepts, and being able to see different defenses, and just honestly be on the same page, 99% of the time. I'm excited.
On the halftime Ben's message of this could be legendary. We can make this. How did that resonate with you? Just hearing what his message was at that point, considering you guys were down 21-3.
Yeah, it was it's the only option we had. Was to go out there and be legendary, to go out there and execute, to go out there and do our part on the offensive side, defensive side, and special teams. Have each other's back. Go win the effing game.
Caleb, Ben mentioned that hearing the noise from the Packers leading up to this weekend. Did you notice that? Was that something you took exception to or motivation from?
Yeah. They wanted us. That's what I heard. They wanted it, and they got it.
Caleb, do you have a sense of how special this is for the fans in the city?
Sort of. In the sense of, obviously, I'm not out in the city, and I'm not out, doing all those different things. But, on game day here tonight was special. And you could feel it. You could feel it from the fans. You could feel it, the energy. On that last drive, delay a game, false start, clock running low. It was chaos because of them. Obviously, our guys out there making plays and stuff, but they were a huge part of it. They were a huge part of this win. They were a huge part of where we're at today. And so we want to keep that going. Like I said, we want to make them proud. We want to make them, happy to be Bear fan. And we're going to try and keep this going.
What's that experience like for you after the game, and just this year having the fun back in football?
Yeah. Football is always fun. It's playing football is fun. Playing football is fun. Losing isn't. And so, just having this year so far, it's obviously a little bit more fun when you win. But this year has been a special year. The guys that we have in this building is unmatched. The brotherhood, the bond that we have is unmatched. And so we want to keep this going. That was my message to the team after the game. We got to fix whatever we got to fix. We got to start faster. We got to play better. We got to execute more. If we want to reach the goal, we want to reach. And it starts with, and happy to advance. But, it starts with tomorrow. It starts with, whatever day we come back. Because we have a goal in mind that we want to reach, and it starts with being 1-0.
Many have been asked about Colston already, but it seems like he's more.
Right off a Lakeshore Drive against those Green Bay Packers. The Bears are taking the all-time postseason edge versus Green Bay. 2 games to 1, and Ben Johnson feeling the flow of elation out there. That's what happens when you're the first-year Chicago Bear head coach to win in the first round of the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. The celebration, it is definitely on and popping. And you see right there, well, they're going to curtail all the celebration in just a little bit, and they're going to get back to work because that is what this Bears team is all about, staying focused and very business-minded. 31-27, that's the final tally in this one. Caleb Wiliams, he was an absolute monster out there on the gridiron. 24 for 48, 361 yards, setting a Bears all-time playoff passing mark. 2 touchdowns, had the 2 miscues, but being sacked only 1 time for just a loss of 9 yards, that was huge. And one of the key components in keeping him upright and clean, that was Joe Thuney. Here he is, the first team All-Pro. Listen up.
Yeah, just, we know these are all, great games, and just, good to go down to the wire, and, lucky to have Caleb back there, and, love playing for him, and it was a great day today.
You've been a part of a lot of great playoff victories. Have you ever been part of a playoff win like this one?
Yeah, that was awesome, just, the home crowd, gosh, just the support of everyone in the stadium, that was unbelievable, just, even, tough first half, they stuck around, third quarter was awesome, they're still loud and still getting into it, and so shout out all the Bears fans, that was awesome, and, look forward to seeing you next week.
What's it feel like when that ball hits the turf and zeros and it's over?
Yeah, just, it's just pure thrill, it's just awesome, just pure elation, just glad we got that W, and now, get ready for the next one.
When you guys come back in here at halftime, down 21-3, I mean, how much of it mattered did it feel like you were going to have to get into in that third quarter to come back out?
Yeah, I think just credit to the coaching staff, the players, nobody, freaked out, nobody flinched, just, we're locked in, ready to go for the second half, just we knew we needed to play better, and we knew we could, and just had to go out there and execute.
What do you think some of the red zone issues were tonight?
I'll have to look at the film, I'm not sure.
What was a good, better, best situation like in here?
It was awesome, it was pretty loud, pretty awesome, yeah. Thank you guys, I really appreciate it.
So there he is, the first team All-Pro, Joe Thuney. We know he's all about those winning ways, just like the Bears. See the win probability. The number crunchers, something tells me, I have a good hunch that they never took a snap in their entire career. So those numbers, you can throw them out until the numbers hit triple zeros. Those are what the Bears care about. You see that right there? Going skiing. And they skied right into that winning chalet. It was all about getting that W. Jaylon Johnson, he was one of the key components in the win, made big plays when it happened, and he is currently fresh to death. Let's check in.
I'm fired the hell up. I ain't gonna lie to you. That feel good. It shouldn't have went like that, but definitely glad we can pull it out.
You've had a lot of crazy wins this year. Can you put this one into words?
I mean, this one might be the one I was a part of, the craziest one for sure. So, I mean, for us, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you do it, you want to win. So.
What changed in the second half defensively? What changed defensively in the second half?
Fight. We had to respond. I mean, that was the message really all on the sideline was fight. We had our back against the wall pretty much the whole game. And it was just about fight. We just had to keep going.
Did anyone say anything? Did anyone say anything in the locker room just that was really what stood out at halftime?
Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't too much talking really to do. They was blatantly whooping our ass. So we just had to come out in the second half and not say too much and just focus on execution and energy.
What was it like to see what Caleb was able to do to bring you guys back?
I mean, I would say just execute, just move the ball, just be a field general like he is.
What was the coverage leaders?
Yeah, they had some good ones. I know the one that Jaden Reed, I think, scored. That was definitely a tough one on Tremaine to that backside, playing that receiver like that. But a lot of them, honestly, we just got to play a little better. I know on the one with Golden, I gotta make that tackle. We all got to make that tackle to get him down. But good play by him as well. But it was a lot of things that they did well. But we also didn't have our best game in the first half, especially executing.
Jaylon, you guys have done this at least a half a dozen times. Can you just talk about the belief in this room that you guys are never out of a game?
As simple as that. We're never out.
What has 6 comebacks previously going into this taught you guys about what needs to be done in the final, or what can be done in the final minutes?
I mean, we always preach starting fast. I mean, it's not something that we intentionally come out and not do, but it just seems like it happens to work like that. But we definitely got to get that out of our system and start fast and play a full game like that.
How sweet is it? Comebacks have been about Caleb, driving the offense in his hands. The defense closed it out tonight.
I mean, it felt good. I mean, a lot of times when they do go do it, I feel like the times where we didn't pull through, it was a lot of times on the defensive end. So, I mean, for us, it felt good to pull through, considering how the first half went. And just really seal this win for the team.
How sweet is it to beat? Really?
I mean, it feels really good. I mean, regardless of, I would say, the opponent advancing, it would matter.
Jaylon, what is the value of having all those comeback wins throughout the course of the year?
Well, when you get yourselves a win in the postseason versus the Green Bay Packers, the first playoff win for the Bears since 2011, wearing a suede red 11-gallon hat, Coach, I think some of that comes along with the territory. Bearing down, that's what Ben Johnson, the fellas, were able to do tonight. The first divisional win, 2010. You see that right there, and first back-to-back wins versus the Packers since 2007. Bears' first playoff win, correcting that right there, since 2010, and that divisional round. Huge. Just right now, not just for team momentum and mindset, just for everything that they can bring into that next round. They don't necessarily know who they're going to get just quite yet. It could be the Philadelphia Eagles. It could be the Los Angeles Rams. But something tells me, Coach, I have a good hunch that these Bears, they're ready to bring on whoever it is.
Yeah, well, and you know what? The big advantage, we're at home.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are at home, and that will help.
Bears fans like to cheer a little bit, don't they?
Bear fans get another dose, and you know, who's going to be, we don't know, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I mean, the Bear fans, playoff time, they got a little taste of it last week. After this week, the big challenge this week for the players and coaches, I can tell you, it's going to be turning the page and getting ready for another game. You know what I mean? And not still be living in this victory on Thursday, and now all of a sudden it's time to play a game again. So they'll get a day or two to enjoy this, and you know they will, and deservingly so. And then, you know, then the veteran guys we've been talking about, the Thuneys of the world, that's when they need to stand up and say, hey, guys, I've been here. This is how we handle it. This is what we go to the next one. We're going after the big prize. We got to take them one at a time.
Absolutely. Coach Johnson, he said, guys, if your mind is anywhere else as opposed to playing for the next 5 weeks, then don't even come on in. Right now, all we have is aspirations to win a Vince Lombardi trophy. 1941 Western Division tiebreaker. Bears over Green Bay, 33-14. What a day that was, and what a day tonight was. 2025 wild card round winners over Green Bay, 31-27. Rome Odunze, he had fingerprints on this victory. Here he is. Listen up.
Over 100 years, so being able to be a part of that special win like that in the playoffs, wild card, it definitely feels pretty good.
Did you guys know they gathered on your logo before the game?
We didn't see that. Honestly, we just seen some of our players getting active over there, and then we kind of rallied up to go over there because, you know, we have each other's back, so we wouldn't win none of that. I don't know what they were up to, what they were trying to get accomplished with that, but I'm glad we came out with the W.
These sort of wins, Rome, now it's really a trend for the way you see games. You guys, this is nothing new to you guys, this crazy, close comeback wins. How can you explain it? You guys just always seem to be hanging around and finding ways.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's really hard to, honestly. I don't know. Going back to even college, like my last year in college, it was kind of like that, like crazy games like that. So I don't know. It's just a play style, what we get ourselves into at times. You know, it'd be nice to have one of these ones where we just blow a team out and, you know, we can, you know, have some kneel downs at the end of the game and all that. But we keep it exciting every single week. But the main goal is coming out with a W, and we keep finding a way to do that. So we're excited to keep it rolling.
What was halftime like? It was such a disappointing first half for you guys. Was anything said from Ben or the coaches? Because it was night and day when you guys came out of that.
Yeah, I mean, they could just continue to harp on that we've been here. We've been in that moment. We've been, you know, down at halftime. We've been, you know, in a situation where no one really thinks we're going to come out with a W, and we've come out with a W in those scenarios. So it was just another one of those situations with, you know, the highest stakes on the line, and we rose to the occasion. So it's a kudos to all the gentlemen in this locker room, all the coach staff, the players, everybody involved with it to go get the job done.
How dangerous is belief for a team? How dangerous can belief be, especially in this situation?
I think belief is everything, honestly, in these situations. Like, it's the NFL, and every team is very talented, and every team, you know, can win on any given Sunday. So belief is a major factor, you know, knowing that regardless of what the score is, if there's still time on that clock, there's an opportunity to go win the football game. And I think we've embodied that this season, and I'm sure there'll be more of that come down the stretch on our way to the Super Bowl. So I'm excited for those games as well.
The fourth down play, what happened on the fourth down play? How did you track the ball?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb made a tremendous play, honestly. You know, he put it up for me, put it right where it needed to be, and was able to come down with it. So kudos to him for making an extraordinary play. Was able to put the icing on the cake on that one to get some points on the board.
Did you see what he was doing when he was off balance, kind of floating as he throws it?
Man, I mean, I see him doing his craziness back there. I'm like, okay, where's the ball going? I'm not really paying attention to his body moves, but I know he's doing something spectacular back there, and I've seen the video, and man, it was spectacular. So, you know, that can play all week long for people to see, and you know, I'm sure there'll be more plays like that from me in 18 to come.
With everything on the line in that moment, fourth down, really kind of the season on the line, for him to make that throw, going to his left, being able to pick you up from the other side of the field, maybe the best throw of the season from Caleb?
I mean, the best throw until he makes the next best throw, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can say that every week with this dude, man. He's a spectacular talent, super happy to be his teammate and watch him thrive out there. So, like he kind of said, we're not finished. We have more to accomplish, so excited to keep going with 18.